चेक करना चाहिए।
Huh? Okay, so it's a career inspection. So this is a kind of very huge. But first time we are shown that first, it's a report in 1981. But I'm talking that people, they talk about the AIDS, I'm sure that all of you know. First case discovered in 1981. Our first paper came in 1974. Think of this, everything is 24. But these are the things, that I can tell you because of the Chinese AIDS, diabetes, things that all these are predisposing factors. Separation. This is the story. Now it's so important, this organism. And because it's linked to the candidiasis, and these are the AIDS that all this immune system goes down, then candida will take the charge, will take over. And that's why all these things. Anyway, so we discovered that one. And all this, that is a kind of a discovery, the whole pathway, how can, in a some kind of pathway, what kind of gene cluster, everything was done. That's the difference. We don't have to. But if you take the mutant of these, automatically becomes non-pathogenic. But then we found that it's not only that. This particular, why I'm telling you, this pathway is very important for the only pathogenic organism. Today you are getting the Mycobacterium tuberculosis or vibrio cholera. If you take the vibrio cholera, if you get the mutant of the pathway, then cholera will not be there. We publish all this, that. One day one can see all these, even the plant virus pathogen, we have also published and showed more things going on. Think of the role and universality of genes involved in utilization. That's a kind of a thing. So this is why it's a kind of a story of the candida, I think. Okay? There's a lot of things going on still, I told you that. When I found the genome sequence, we found that only pathogenic organism has these pathogens. Non-pathogenic doesn't have that. That's why Saccharomyces we gave up, right? Saccharomyces doesn't have that. Later on we know that. And now there are a lot of genome sequences known, so one can check. And I mentioned already, that certainly Like think about that. Why in this connection, let me tell you one thing. How many of you know? Every year we will lose the rice. 70% of the rice because of the infection of the Magnaportha. It's a fungal pathogen. It's a kind of a crisis of the country. Think of the 70% of the rice. But if you can save, they don't know how to save it. Nobody knows. And this is why I'm telling you this Magnaportha. Already published a paper. Now this pathway is very important. If you have the mutant, then Magnaportha can infect. You understand that? Tomorrow, that maybe I'll give a drug. Single drug can cure all Candida, tuberculosis, TB, and all these Mycobacterium, and also that Magnaportha will be survived. Doesn't matter, it will not infect. Why I'm telling you this is very important that you can save the country. When I'm talking, this is a kind of agriculture and this pathogen, because my laboratory, that is still working on this, and also plant thing. I told you that. This institute was created by me, National Institute of Plant Research. If you see, there is a kind of a building with about 25 acres of land. Okay? It's compared to your NITs, got about 20 acres. And think about that, this is the kind of a thing, all the laboratories and everything is there. But that's not the point. All this one can see, that's what Borlaug said. Keeping in mind, one piece will not be built on the empty stomach and human cells. You see that, I'll show you that. What ultimately, think of that. How to feed the world? When you know that it's a kind of what population goes up and food demand goes up and up. But same time you are getting the decline in cultivable land. Because you know that what Siliguri was here or here other 50 years back. Now it's a kind of a agricultural land has been occupied. While coming from Bangalore to I find that that's true. Because people have to survive. Because population goes up. It's true for every place. Until you work productivity or you do some technology, the productivity goes up and so population you can match and that is a very only thing. But then we lose the crop for the drought, salinity, disease insect, pest, post-harvest loss. I'll come back quick and then we can say that's what we call food security. How to get the food security? What is food security? Food security is not that only productivity, it's availability, access, and absorption. You can see that secure when all people they get that food at all times. And that's very important, the definition of food security. But how one can see that, that the country will, that ultimately will go up and down. When you know that more than 40% of the newly born child are arrested. Think about that as a kind of this is because of nutrition problem. More than 40% is about now has gone up a little bit. But think about that, mother doesn't know what food that she has to offer. And this is the situation, keep it in mind. You're lucky. I'm lucky also. That you don't have any problem this kind. But think about as a village, if you go, you can see this is the thing. And this is the situation. You know that it's a kind of a thing is goes when the 40% kids are arrested, how one can see that it's a country will go up and up and up. How to get that? How to get the nutrition? And this is why you can see that all this, that nutrition you can have that. It's a different, I don't want to talk. And so that's why it's a kind of a nutrition genome started. This is a kind of a gene discovered from our first time and first gene patent of the country. And when we do that, this is why you can not only that, you can have that. Sometimes it's a fruit is very good, but it has a nutrition stress factor. There's a toxin. If you remove that, it's okay. And then one can do that. I don't know how many of you know that as others. Kesari dal. Kesari dal for the whole, because whatever it goes very fast, it can do, and no problem, that to grow, but it has a toxin. And that's the kind of a discovery was done by us, that oxalic diamine acid, so we can get the transgenic. So now that Latharis is excellent, no problem. But that's a different issue now. How to get that. Anyway, this is a development of this gene. So we can talk that some other gene we have done that also. I told you that. I don't know how many of you know that spinach, tomato, and all these insects, if you eat, it can develop certain things. Kidney stone, urinary stone, and all these. So, idea to remove, this is why it's a kind of idea to remove. That's what I tell you. Kishida, Lazarus. Because it can grow very fast. And government in a ban. But doesn't matter that poor people, they think that what can be, they can get, they can eat. And 40 plus people, they have this problem. This particular village. It came in the newspaper a long time back. It's 91, 92, that. Like they sent to me because I got the Jeremiah award that time, So because of the oxalic decarboxylase, the gene discovery, then we started that whole thing. Think about that. 40% people, because of that, they have the lethargy. Without stick, they are only 40 plus. Think about that, what is happening, and how science can go. These are kind of human disease. I'll not go through. So there's a discovery of that one. So all this, that I'll show you that. But we have discovered that one, and you can see that it doesn't infect if you have that. So this is kind of FDA policy, regulate the threat, not the technology. That's very important. What you are doing with technology, that's a kind of GM curve. There's a very noble knowledge of non-volatile in this collection that are the result of the natural process. Because whatever we are eating today, in this collection I'm telling you, you asked your grandfather, that's a different, and today it's a hybrid. What do you mean by hybrid? Because hybrid means the cross, you don't know how many genes goes from this side to that side. There we don't question. But if you can improve single gene, that's a different question altogether. But what I'm telling you, that's a result, natural process that is going on. And not only that, the bees, from one, they go to another fruits. And you don't know how many genes goes to that bees, that to infect, sit on the plant, And that's the kind of apart from the other thing, you can do that. And another thing I'm telling you, I'm sure that you read the newspaper, right? He say starting in Gujarat, then Maharashtra, then Andhra, Bengal. Because what happened here in this country, the farmers, they can, that they take the loan. Because they take the loan because they don't have big land, not like US or Europe. Their small land, they grow. Just for example, tomato they grow. But there's no way to store that tomato. They do their job. They don't have a storage facility. What it means, they have to put in the, not like you go and ask your mother, they put in the refrigerator. But I'm talking the farmers. They grow. They do their job in a sense. If the number, that in the particular field, the tomato grows very fast, and a lot of tomato, but how to keep it? Because there's no transportation facility. They cannot take it to village to that city. That's why tomato price go up to 200 rupees per kg now, 200 plus now. But if they supply, then it will go down to 10 rupees or something like that. But this no supply because farmers they do that and they can't. A tomato will not last more than 10 days. Your mother will put it in the refrigerator after buying. That can carry on. But I told you, storage facility is not there. So they lose everything on the field. They cannot pay back. What I'm telling you, the crisis starts from there. They cannot pay back and they do suicide. Because they came in newspaper, several, I can tell you that, in Gujarat and this and that. And myself visited 5 farmers' house. But this thing happened as well. How to solve that problem? And that's what started that. And you can see that. How you can see what I'm telling you about 35 to 40%, 60,000 crores per year. But that's the 6 years old data. 60,000 crores per year. Equivalent to annual consumption, okay, so we lose, that huge. So that's a kind of a discovery we did that. It came out the very top journals that's different patents and everything. Now you're not transferring any gene like earlier. You silence a couple of genes. Now that they publish all this thing, I hope that is a one day. Think of the tomato will not last more than 10 days. But the one we developed, that one, in 45 days, no problem. Now think about that. If it's a 45 plus, the farmers, they don't have to bother about that. They can take the bullock cart for the village to city to supply. So the crisis they are facing, that will be gone. Now is that this development, because of the science why I'm telling you, it brings to the link with the society. Here you are not transferring any gene, you're silencing a couple of genes and already that down. Okay? Think about that. Always you know that it's a kind of a TV you open it. They say that okay, that crisis of the iron and zinc, I'm putting that at the baby purposely because that one is a always find that is a always in. There is the vitamin A, iron and zinc, because whatever you eat is very limited. So that's started like that, and that's what discovery of the gene. So again, we have all this, and it's very interesting. So far in the whole world, this whole single gene can do that. If you transfer that one, it's a kind of works formation, it's a drought resistant, pathogen resistant, nutrition value, iron goes up, polyunsaturated fatty. What I'm telling you, if you do this one, and that already is a publication of journal, no doubt about that. Think about that. Say, if you do that, you can improve. Then it doesn't matter. The drought is a problem because of the crisis, because of the water shortage, and also the fungal effects. I mentioned to you, including fungus and virus and all this, that can be. Same time, your iron and unsaturated is very limited. It goes up. It's 5 times more than original. So that's the kind of thing, that to this is a kind of a revolution. This is a different altogether. This is going on, transitioning thing. All this is driven by ignorance, conservative thinking, and fear of the unknown. People. But all this is easy, everything economical and eco-friendly. Then I can tell you that. But you have to do that. Discovery is not the only thing. Move for the function is not. Move for the concept here. Ultimately, has to go to the common people. That's the kind of thing. That's economic advancement without the creation of knowledge. That's why I mentioned all this. This is the kind of thing. And this all 5 genes. I'm not talking about that. And all we see that war, poverty, and hunger. There is a kind of challenge with science. Suppose that I'm talking suppose your family, you have the food. But your neighbor doesn't have. Keep it in mind what I'm telling you. What do you do? He will come and begs, Sir, kuch to de dijiye, khane ke liye. Give me some to eat. Then say, get out. You will not get it. That's the way we do. Then what do you do? You try again when you are not there. You with your parents are not there or nobody there. Then you try to steal. The guard will catch them and beat them. Get out from here. Third, what he'll do? He'll enter and he'll kill you and take it. What I'm telling you, suppose India has food. Nepal doesn't have food. Or Bangladesh doesn't have food. Or Pakistan doesn't have food. Sri Lanka doesn't have food. What they'll do? Exactly what I said. Just like a neighbor and landlord. They'll come and they'll create problem for the country. And that is a very important. And one should keep it in mind. That's the way, that I can tell you. This is that's a kind of a message. One should do that. That's what I'm telling you. It's a challenge. This is not that you are there, everything you have that. But you have to interact with the neighboring country. One, you have to interact with your neighbors. If they survive, that can give you, that certainly is a kind of society. And this is very important. That's why I can tell you, a world divided can stand humanity cannot survive what to reach or what to go. And this is very important. I can tell you, once I give the last message, nation needs a sense of purpose, then you can fly. You can see the country, that while we are born, we are doing something for the country. Doesn't matter whether you are engineering or this and that. That's very important also. I know that NIT Sikkim is a kind of engineering group and all that. And there is a kind of what purpose they're doing that. How one can do that. Like think about it, it's a kind of Sikkim here. It's a lot of, the kind of a medicinal plant one can just see that. Why not to make a kind of collaboration with some institute? This one I talked already when I was the chairman of the CMAP, just after a few days also, or 10 years. I said this is a kind of a link one can develop for research. And this is very important. It's not to just to grow. So certain new things, new development, all you can do that. And that's the way, that I can tell you that your science should progress, same time, that society can be benefited, country will be benefited. Really, so thank you very much, that asking me to come. I mentioned that already that it's not today, it's a NIT Sikkim, because since I was chairman of the Board of Governors NIT Silchar for 10 years, and I mentioned that NIT Sikkim, that certainly, that I should, because a good friend of mine, the governor, David Wishing, talked about that in this place also. He was a governor, and that's excellent, that you can see that. And top of that, if you want to see that, is a kind of my old friend, the Abdul Kalam, and his memory, that you want to, that see that is very important. It's a kind of a go back and see. It's like, yes, 2, 3, I can tell you the one thing is very important, he should go to. I mentioned to that. Twice he went to NIT Silchar. So he said that I'll meet you in Guwahati because I have some job. From there we'll go together. But one thing is very important that when I was going, this is a kind of a great man, as I honestly do. So he was sitting. Then he said, why did you come, I can tell you. In the front, we are going, going back to Guwahati to Delhi. So next, the secretary was there. I'm telling you, it's a kind of a, certainly the business class of the first, that. First row, he asked me where to come and sit, what you were reading. And I always follow that. I say, this is first row only for the politician. Think of the telling a president, it's very good. So that's true. I told another couple of people also. That's not the point. Then he said, I want to know what you are reading. Then I said, you want to read? So I told the secretary, okay, give it to me. I gave it. I'm telling you this is why he's a great man. So he thought that, okay, so after 4 or 5 days, his secretary telephoned me. He said that, he made a comment there. He said that I don't forward any book. I said, I can ask you anything. I told the secretary. He said he knows, but he asked you to comment. So I went there. And that's why he never did in his life. He changed. The book I looked at is my memoir. It's got a lot of people. He's the one who decided to forward that one. So he did that. So he said, okay, sir, whatever he is reading signature, he give to. I said, he told me not to write. So I went there to his house. And then he said, "Why do you change?" He said, "No, I changed because you come and we can have a cup of tea together." The day he died is a kind of a take why I'm telling you his life for the DRDO to do is ultimately it's not that politics. The way what are the things he did, that's very important. Thank you very much. Because I'm very happy that you are is a kind of a Abdul Kalam's, that when I got the switches, that telephone call, she mentioned to me that Abdul Kalam is that. And earlier people also that. So I'm very happy that coming this side after a long time.
Thank you very much, Professor Asis Datta. So now I would request our Honorable Director to please share his few words.
After listening to Dr. Professor Datta, I'm sure that I am nobody to speak to you, but as a director of the institute, perhaps I have the privilege given by students to talk. But it's a really privilege that I can excuse my absence during this lecture. Actually, what happened, as taking the link from what you were saying about the neighboring countries, the few days back only, I was talking to my able students, and they have shared with me and agreed that we have to have a good rapport with our neighboring countries. They might not be having the nuclear weapon country, or maybe none of the BRICS, Bangladesh, Bhutan, Nepal, etc. In the chain, we invited the Vice Chancellor of the Bangladesh University of Science, Engineering and Technology. But unfortunately, because of some technical reason, like you perhaps know, you don't want to, and that continued till this morning. Right from 5 o'clock, I am getting phone call and organizing all over the Delhi, Bengal, West Bengal, and here and there, so that he can have a good exit from here and follow up things. And after that, again, some political leader came here to start a union for his political party. So I have to lose my temper at that time, of course, and I have to, a very gentlemanly said, "Please get out of campus, next time don't enter. My students will not let you go in a very modest way next time." So that I could come here, I'm sorry I could. It is my loss that I know him as the chairman of Silchar, otherwise also. And I was impressing upon my biotechnology student the other day. It may look to your novice eye is the area where we should study, rather go to computer science, electrical engineering, but you don't know this is where you will rule the world. If whether we don't start today, another 10 years, we'll be so much backward in such technology. Forget about nuclear, all these things. This is a technology which will rule the world. And again, we'll be backward. So, and when you pass out 5-6 years, I think things will start revealing even in India. They know it very well. So you're coming and talking also will give some pouring. But this is not only in the 90s. Even IIT government students are sort of depressed that biotechnology, what we'll be doing. And now talking about the theme person of our Avianton this time, Abdul Kalamji. I met him twice. Once as an advisor of All India Council for Technical Education. He was the chairman. He was not the president at that time, advisor to Prime Minister. He was the chairman of the technician education, not technical education. I remember at that time very closely we discussed a few times. He was telling, look, some of that. I'm not interested in engineering education. You are big things, you are doing big design, all these things. I am interested in those technicians, without whom my missile would not have flown. I have a machining up to precision of 0.0 or something, which we'll do. Unless this man has, or this woman has a passion for that, and that skill for that, he or she will not do that. I need, so in this country, need technician education. South Korea, not being so intellectual as our country, you go and see how much development they have done. For that reason, even Japan, today they have enough money, today I mean for last few decades to do research. Earlier they have done all technician and development. So this man, next time I met, of course he was the president of India, it's just, I think, protocol. I was in MNIT Allahabad rector at the time he came, I just met with my daughter. The way he had, and that is the result, you are feeling so strongly about this gentleman, the way he was motivating the young mind, completely getting into your mind, without any artificial or anything, just you can see the person talking from his soul. So you have done a very good thing, taking this person as, theme person, or Abhiyantan 2016. And I'm very, very grateful to Professor Datta that he could come here in person and talk to you. It is a great pride for us. Thank you very much for coming, and thank you, student, for listening and giving me the opportunity to talk after him. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. As per our the Honorable Director's wish and our idea to let all the institutes see